Welcome back to Metaphor ReFantazio, everyone. So, this is weird. I had to scrap my next planned 4 videos because my plan was to go to the Spire of Blind Faith before the Dragon Temple, and on the way, I would take on the Orbwise Path and get Junah's rank 1 started. Well, turns out the Spire of Blind Faith is actually ridiculous at this point in the game. At this point, there is no way to avoid bad weather there, so you'll never be able to get press turns in combat, and I would be able to win with such a, like, the boss is level 55, and the enemies are in the 50s. I'd normally be able to win with that disadvantage if I had press turns, but without it, and also, you get a way to mitigate this after you've beaten the Dragon Temple. Plus, after the Dragon Temple, let's just say you have a bit more tools to deal with the Spire of Blind Faith's enemies. The weird thing is, though, as you can probably tell by the video thumbnail, I am going to be doing the Orbwise Path before the Dragon Temple. That's because I kind of want to get Junah's one out of the way first, because after the Dragon Temple, we have another important side quest that can only be done after that. I'd kind of rather not have to do both of those one after the other. And so yeah, once again, the cockatrices, they will instantly kill you if your defense is not raised, but the ones in here will actually try and debuff your defense first, so yeah, they'll try and put your defense, like, into the, they'll try and do anything to make sure your defense isn't in the positives. Also, it has a skill that repels, so basically that's Tetracon. Fire magic is effective, and that's good since Junah is guaranteed to have a fire skill from Masked Dancer, and she is actually forced into this fight. And there are enemies that give Frostbite. Well, we do have access to Frostbite preventing accessories from the shop here, I believe. Well, we do also have increases evasion against various elements. Things, which, the ice boots could be useful where we're going. Okay, you know, that shop might have only been available at night, which kind of sucks. But I can at least get this appraised. Red Wolf. Oh, okay, that's actually pretty decent for this point. Now, the Orbwise Path is typically on the way to the Spire of Blind Faith. So, you'd normally think that going to the Orbwise Path now is really inefficient. However, I have to thank somebody in the comments who told me this. So, the thing about the Spire of Blind Faith, which is down here, is it normally takes a 3-day trip to get there, and 3 days is a very important time to make for the Spire, for reasons that I'll explain once we finish the Dragon Temple. But, if you stop in the Orbwise Path, because it is a dungeon, that takes 1 extra full day, meaning you don't get to the Spire until 4 days. You can, however, go to the Orbwise Path in 1 day, teleport back to town, and it actually does overall work out to the exact same amount of days. You're just splitting it over 2 trips instead of 1.
We could fulfill a request there.
So, we're going to fulfill a quest there. We're going to go here, back to Verga, and then we're going to go to the Dragon Temple. Trust me, my process will make sense of after we've done the Dragon Temple.
Great. Let's move out.
And on the way there, we'll be able to do Hulkenberg's rank 8, since that can only be done on the Gauntlet Runner.
What to pick?
And here we go, yeah, we've already got Hulkenberg showing up. Okay, Idol's Day in 2 days, gotta remember that. Now, the Holistic Whitefish Platter is the only dish I haven't made yet, but I am 1 short of Limp Goldfish. Even though I have the bait to fish for those, I can't do this now because I really want to do Hulkenberg's rank. I mean, granted, doing Hulkenberg's rank 8 on the way to the Dragon Temple might also make sense. Because, like, it really doesn't matter, but, like, this part kind of should be about Junah, actually. I feel like I'm kind of stealing Hulkenberg's thunder if I start Junah's rank 1 now. Yeah, I actually think I will fish today instead of... Sorry about that. And hopefully there isn't, like, bad heat tomorrow, and I'm not able to do Hulkenberg because you can't access the deck in bad heat. You know, I'm pretty sure the Dragon Temple never has bad weather, so yeah, let's go ahead and fish here.
The truth is...
Yes, the truth is, I have worm bait, the lowest form of bait, but it's the one that I need here. You can actually just buy limp goldfish at a village on the way to the Spire of Blind Faith, but here, I think I do actually want the silly option for more Queen's Honey Jars, so in this case that would be Thrash and Splash.
True. The fight is on.
Oh, Thrash and Splash, that's Gyarados and Magikarp. Of course, you know, I've recently found out that in Pokemon Pokopia, they once again ran afoul of translating Hop as Splash, because in that game, learning Splash lets Ditto jump, which doesn't make any sense, except in the Japanese version, it actually is Hop.
The Orb-Wise Path, a cave on an uninhabited island east of Virga Island, comes into view. An old Mustari custom says, the deceased can ascend as guardian deities if their remains are fed to the snakes here. Time passes, lands and peoples change, and the unthinkable becomes sacred tradition. The party arrives with complicated feelings.
Yeah, this is interesting to think about, because I know that a lot of real cultures can feed their dead to vultures, and, like, I don't really see that much of a problem with that ethically, because, like, you know, the corpse is still, like, you know, dead.
Right.
I mean, there's no, like, honestly, it feeding animals is probably a better use for it than, like, burning it, but anyway, not to be totally disrespectful to the dead or anything, it's like, you know, I feel like no matter what happens to the remains, you can still mourn the dead the same way. Yeah, Heisme is kind of the spokesperson for different cultures being different. I do wonder what the Parapus rituals are like. There's now some stupid bird threatening theirs. Send it flying. Well, we'll burn it. Might not send it flying, though. That's more of a brawler thing. So, speaking of which, I am pretty close to getting General to rank 15. I only have one Hero's Fruit, though. Heisme, how close are you? Oh, you are pretty close on General. However, I would also really like this to be the dungeon where we get Junah's Mage up higher. So I think let's start on that to give you Blizz. Kante would be nice too, but like Fire's really the main one you need for this dungeon. Oh right, I'm still down to just Will because I was doing my LOL Jin experiment. Okay, Heisme, Junah definitely, and there's a lot of electric and wind weaknesses here, and I believe Stroll has gone temporarily into Seeker. Hulkenberg I don't think has a way to hit wind weaknesses. So I feel like Will's very behind on Warrior right now. And I kind of, like, I'm putting all my eggs in one basket with Sniper, which is kind of a bad thing because Dragoon sucks. Here's the thing, though. I am really gonna need Sniper for the Spire of Blind Faith, so I think I will actually continue to level Sniper. You know, as long as Hulkenberg isn't in the party, she should make strides on leveling Mage. She will need Wizard, eventually for Dark Knight. I'll try and get, like, one more Master Dancer level on Junah, and then I'll switch her over to Mage to level that. And Heisme just needs to get General to 15. And also Inherit Wind. You go Magic Seeker's Mask. Okay then, let's go. So, like, I was kind of expecting a Jungle Island type of dungeon, but this is actually a cave dungeon. Also, there are going to be a few enemies here that are field killable. So, overall, not a particularly tough dungeon, definitely doable at this point. There are also 2 gold beetles in here, so make sure you get those. Yeah, see those purple slurpers, or whatever they're called, slug-like things? We can field kill them at this point. These worms, though... Oh, nice crit there. These worms, though... They are weak to electricity and drain ice. And they also can inflict frostbite against you. I suppose Megado is a possibility here.
Let's stay calm. I won't hold back.
So Myriad shot them.
Don't underestimate. I'll show you. No, please.
Closing the distance. Sword Master.
And then Stroll can... I think I need Rising Slash here. I've got rid of Slash Boost. I probably shouldn't, but like... My logic is that most of the Slash weak enemies in this dungeon are actually field killable, so I don't strictly need the Slash damage booster. Okay, so you go into Mage now. Kinda sucks that, like, the fire boosting staff I have is, also... Okay, also, hi there, person. Is lower in power. I feel like because the attack power of the weapon influences damage, as I keep stressing, I wonder if, like, the 20%, or maybe it's only 15% boost to fire is offset by just how much weaker the weapon is. Sea creature immune to weapon attacks, as well as a water worm that breathes frost. Water worm? Oh no, it's Wiglet! I don't get why Game Freak keeps making Dugtrio variants that don't have Arena Trap. Arena Trap is like the one thing going for Dugtrio as a Pokemon. Like, it's there, it's pretty weak, it's very frail, but it's kind of fast, and it can revenge kill things. Like, that's literally the only thing Dugtrio is good for. So it's just like, oh hey, let's make a version of Dugtrio that doesn't have Arena Trap, the one thing that has going for it. Oh, wouldn't it be funny if we did that again? Like, Dugtrio is a decent concept, it's just like, it's questionable in execution. It really should have had Arena Trap. Of course, then most competitive formats ban Arena Trap anyway. So yeah, this thing, that's a higher variant of the Schlurper, or whatever they're called. So often just call them slugs, because that's basically what they are. And I didn't expect it to be field killable, but it is. It's like level 30. And so yeah, so we have to flip a switch to open that door there. So I originally had like a topic of discussion for this video that was going to be about like romance in Metaphor. Oh, it's level 33 and it's still field killable, okay. But I just realized that relied on me doing Hulkenberg's rank 8. And I didn't do Hulkenberg's rank 8 this part. Important note, there are no mimics in this dungeon. So you can just freely open these chests without having to face-ite them. Emperor White Mask, not bad to have that. And down here, make sure you're checking, because this is a crawl space. It can blend in a little bit with the background, even if it's a little more obvious than some other crawl spaces. Hi, worms. Come here, please, wormy.
Right there.
Okay, so if we... I don't know if this will take them both out in the field. Oh, okay. And that was the one that was out of stun. Okay, well, we got our first Frostbite. Frostbite, yeah, it basically halves your damage, but the main terrible thing about being inflicted with Frostbite is that you can't do Synthesis, and this will become an enormous problem in a later boss fight. I know that I keep hyping this up, but I have to say it. That boss fight, Frostbite, is a pain. If you have any way of preventing Frostbite in that boss fight, you want to take it. Oh, you know what? Okay. Actually, I have a tangent for this. Because Heismay's saying that even I... So... Oh, he's still frostbitten outside of the battle. Okay, let's fix that. Only have 3 of those, but hopefully we should kill the rest of the worms before they manage to frostbite us. So, Heismay's saying even I... Now, remember that Age of Empires clip that I'm pretty sure is almost certainly Philippe Spall? I'm actually even more certain that it's him now, because the narrator of the Armenian campaign is actually a French person. So, they obviously got Philippe Spall because it's like, hey, here's a good voice actor who has French background and can do a French accent.
Nice.
And we didn't want to make the same mistake that we made with the original Age of Empires voices, where clearly we had the wrong... These people were clearly not French and Scottish, and we're having them do the accents. It was funny, but, like, I like that they're getting more authentic VAs now. I'll briefly stop my tangent to do another tangent, though, because that Spangle helm that I just got... So, I remember my dad worked on a play once about, he does, like, composing music for, like, theater. And he once worked on a play that was written by somebody called, like, Karl, like... Somethingheim, and it was German, but he saw like one like Google Translate of the play, and it translated his name as Karl Starhelmet. So we memed on that and called the writer of that play Karl Starhelmet, and that's what I always think about when I see anything like Spanglehelm or things like that. Okay, let's give you more strength. But anyway, the Heismay tangent. Okay, that 38 MP is quite a lot. Like, it might not look like much for one fight, but it adds up if you spam it over the course of the dungeon. So make sure you only use that when you really need the high damage AoE slash, especially in the Dragon Temple, where you kind of want to ration your resources. I just realized I'm a dumb and I didn't make any food on the way here when I really should have, because I could have made an extra MP item. Oh, Maglock, yeah, that's a cool line. But yeah, I need to stop kind of expecting perfection of myself in every aspect of this game. Like, I missed an Idol's Day, luck boost at one point. I want to get most of those, but, like, I'm not that fussed about missing, like, one of them. Like, I wanna complete the memorandum, I wanna complete all of the bonds, I wanna, you know, do all the side quests, but, like, I don't have to be literally perfect at every single thing that I do in this entire playthrough, because, like, I think that's expecting a bit too much of myself, and I've learned lately that I definitely need to be kinder to myself. I've been under a lot of stress lately.
Let's sweep them with style.
Oh, there we go, we got a Junah start here, which is actually not good, because if Heismay gets the cut in, you actually do more damage with him at rank 8. Okay, here we go. I actually have Wild Salvo now, which will potentially do more damage if all the hits connect. And soon we'll actually be getting a weapon that guarantees multi-hit skills hit the max number of times. It's a sniper weapon too. I know that from my ill-advised voyage to the Spire of Blind Faith. Still no Kande yet. I do have that Hero's Jeweled Root though. See, the thing about the Jeweled Root is that I could use that to give Heismay immediately rank 15 in general, but I'm probably gonna get that by the time this dungeon is over anyway. Whereas, the cool thing about Hero's Jeweled Roots is they give, well, you'll see, for tier 1 archetypes, they do this.
I've learned a new skill.
Yeah, I honestly, I think that's needed. It's kind of how you're meant to, like, rank up the early game archetypes for late joining characters. Especially once you get the ability to plant Hero's Jeweled Root seeds in the Gauntlet Runner. Okay, so this room's very important. That blue crystal on the map is actually the, one of the gold beetles, but we can't access it yet. We actually, wait, no, we can't, no. The chest we can't access, the gold beetle we can.
Add it to the collection.
So we have another door switch here, but more importantly, when it comes to door switches, we can flip this one and open a path back to the start of the dungeon. Though there's a little bit more that I want to cover before I go down the stairs that are close to here. And also talk to the Mustari here, because they're kind of, they have some important things to say.
We are spotted.
Well, I can at least grab the chest up here first, and continue talking about that Heismay thing. So, the character that also this thing right here, yeah, weak for electricity and slash, but as I said, field killable, so, then again, right, so, Heismay and Age of Empires. The character that Heismay is actually voicing, aka the narrator of the Armenian campaign, is Renaud de Chatillon. I think you'd say that. My French is not great, but yes. So he was an actual French Crusader knight and the lord of one of the Crusader castles that was built in that region during the Crusades. Now, you might remember that guy if you played Age of Empires 2's original campaigns, because you know the mission with
Crusaders are attacking our trade routes!
He's the Crusader who attacks your trade routes there. And the reason why I think I alluded to in an earlier part of, like, that guy does not deserve to share have not just the same VA as Heismay, but literally the same voice as Heismay. Because that guy, so in Age of Empires, in the Saladin campaign especially, he's portrayed as, like, pretty cartoonishly evil.
Renaud de Chatillon, a wicked French knight.
And you might be thinking, okay, that's ridiculous. There's no way the real Renaud was that bad, right? And you'd be right. Because the real Renaud was even worse. If you look up the guy on Wikipedia, holy crap, was that guy awful. Like, imagine Captain Klinger in real life, except even worse. And that is that guy. So yeah, him having the same voice as Heismay is just, it's an absolute travesty. Again, I love the fact that Philippe Spall's getting more work, and I like that he has range, that he can portray such a horrible person. Yeah, the reason why he's the narrator of the Armenian campaign is that, like, that guy actually did fight in some of those battles. He kind of temporarily sided with the King of Armenia, and then he betrayed him, because, yeah. But yeah, so he narrates that campaign. And I think he's probably supposed to be like a semi-unreliable narrator. I need to like, I think I may have said before that, I've said this in a stream actually, that I'm holding off on getting Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition because one, I didn't realize that the expansions were all priced like a full set of DLC. I guess that makes sense because they have fully voice-acted campaigns in them, so understandably they want to charge more money for that than just like a couple of dollars. But like, the full price of buying all the DLC civilizations for that game is actually insane. Like, I'm not usually one to complain about game pricing. It's really weird. Like, game pricing doesn't actually impact me very much. I just honestly don't really care all that much. It's weird. Like, I know that a lot of people are really complaining about game pricing these days, and it just, I don't really buy that many games. It doesn't really impact me all that much. I mean, to be fair, it's partly because I have YouTube money that I can buy games with, but yeah, not everyone has the privilege of that, I've got to acknowledge, but anyway, it's like 150 Australian dollars to get that game and every single DLC, so yeah. But the other reason is, I am wondering if it's going to get a Switch 2 port, because it would really fit the mouse controls, and like, seriously, having like portable Age of Empires 2 would be like my dream. I would just love to have that, so I'm holding out to see if it gets a Switch 2 port. So anyway, haven't got that yet, don't really know much about that campaign, but he narrates that, so if you're morbidly curious, I would recommend looking up the real Reynald and seeing just how horrible that guy was. As a primer, one of the things he did was when there was a ceasefire between the Muslim states and the Crusaders, he specifically violated the ceasefire just to raid caravans and made the argument that the truce was not binding to him specifically. That's the kind of guy he was. Well, I guess I just realized, maybe he was like Rodan more than Captain Klinger, like just an outright disgrace to knighthood. Anyway, we have Capsurdos here. They only show up in the lower floors of this place, and because they're electric users, they're weak to wind, so let's get on that. See, now, this is the point where I'd normally like to switch highest main into Assassin. Unfortunately, I haven't finished working on General yet. Probably, maybe I should have used the Hero's Leaf of Light on them, but, I don't know. I might actually want, yeah, I guess I've leveled up Mage a little bit. I may actually want to go ahead and, okay, that was actually better damage than I thought. I might want to go ahead and switch over, Junah back to Mage, so that it's always satisfying with Anne to fight, so that she has a wind attack. And she, maybe I should switch her back over to Masked Dancer, so that she has a wind attack. Because, like, I have to put her in Seeker just to... Hang on. You know what? I can just do this and give her Psych on Mage. It's not as good as the Magic Seeker Mask, but it lets her continue to level Mage, and I just want June to have Wizard as soon as possible. And the real reason I'm doing that is because I like the way she says Wizard. It's a good archetype for her. Like, it'll make her very strong, but, like, also, I really like the way that she says Wizard. So yeah, let's inherit onto that, and I guess we can inherit Infernal Vortex onto Mage. Because that way we have access to, like, the fire-boosting weapons with Infernal Vortex. So yeah, now we're in the lower floor. I kind of didn't really give it much fanfare, but there's this upper area, that's all there is there, and there's a gold beetle in there. So yes, let us continue in. This dungeon isn't, like, super big, but you do need to be aware of the Capsurdos that will try and ambush you out of the water. I do kind of like that gimmick. Yeah, there's Mortal Strike. So they take about 50 to 75% of their health from the ambush. With Heismay at rank 8. I think this is actually the first time that I'm showing this in, like, actual gameplay. But yeah, here we go. Well, I guess the game wants me to use the Magic Seeker Mask on Masked Dancer. I'm glad that I'm collecting all these masks from enemies, because I'll really need these later. So yeah, Hulkenberg continued to just passively level Mage and get closer to... I know that it's ranks and not levels for Archetypes, but I said level because it's convenient. So, yeah, that guy in Age of Empires who shares a voice with... who has Heismay's exact voice. Yeah, yeah. At least they are hiring for... I mean, that game actually predates... that DLC actually predates Metaphor, by the way.
You think yourself equal to a general?
You think yourself equal to a general, I guess? Let's go. I mean, Fire Emblem being equal to a general is usually bad.
This is just what I need.
I would appreciate you doing more damage with your lightning skills, Juna, because, like, that's not high damage. But well, once she gets Wizard, like, you're really meant to have Wizard at this point. This is where getting a max, like, having a level, again, I said level again, having a rank 20 Archetype to just farm heroes, you do always get a Hero's Leaf of Light, you don't get Hero's Jewel Roots from that, so, like, yeah, but even still, it's good to have that. Okay, rank 5 on Sniper, and we get a new skill from that. And that new skill is, Pierce Dodge, I think it was. But I'm mostly, I'll say it again, leveling Sniper because of the, there are going to be Capsodos in here, aren't there? Well, so far just a worm, but I'm almost positive there will be ones later. Could you come out of the ground, please, so I can kill you? There we go.
I'll use what I must.
Well, I mean, there was a Capsodo in the fight, but, like, that's not what I meant. But my point is that people should hire the Metaphor voice actors for more games. It is still absolutely astounding to me that Luisa's voice actor has no, currently, as of recording this video, credited roles besides Luis. Because, like Luis is a character who, if he had a worse VA, like, would almost completely ruin this story. Like, this story is very reliant on Luis, and without him having a good voice, this could easily fall apart.
I don't think there's any more backup coming. Let's keep moving.
I had another topic to talk about, and that was, like, my theories as to why... Because I recently watched a really good video, it's kind of called, like, the best game no one cares about, and it's about Metaphor. Which is, it's kind of sad that Metaphor has a video that's titled that, but, like, it is very true. Like, in spite of the fact that Metaphor got such amazing critical acclaim, it really just hasn't, like, made much of a splash in wider internet culture.
I feel stronger already.
At least not the way other Atlas games have, and, like, while it sold very well at first, the sales kind of dropped off after its initial period, and I think I'll talk more about this when I'm in the Dragon Temple, because believe me, the Dragon Temple is going to give me a lot of time for tangents. In fact, speaking of which, the Mustari here is going to talk about something that is relevant, that I will be talking about in the Dragon Temple itself. Think about outsiders and island problems are for islanders to solve, and we don't need your help. Because I have my thoughts on certain things in this arc regarding that. I mean, true, but we're also here to help. But I invite you all in the comments to give your own theories as to why this game didn't, like, again, in spite of its critical acclaim, Metaphor hasn't really made as much of a splash as it really should have. Why did Stroll say that? Is that, like, a reference to the Thief archetype or something? That's interesting. Oh, that's funny. You can actually use, you can use the weapon of Sniper from the front row. You just can't use its skills from the front row. Okay, almost at 18 Mage on Hulkenberg. I'm probably gonna have to put Hulkenberg back in the party as a Magic Knight to do some things against the boss here, because having, like, jump thrust, because it is weak to pierce, I believe. Yes, it is. Okay, so, there is one area that I haven't been to yet, however, it's just an easy crawl space, there it is, so I don't need to, I'm pretty sure that I got everything on the first floor and then, like, the upper area. Because, yeah, this is actually my second time recording this dungeon. I, again, had to scrap, like, a whole bunch of footage, so Yeah, there's a jump down there. That'll just take you right back to near the boss door, which is gonna be what I need anyway. But oh yeah, this is actually really important because up here. Oh, hi there, Elementor. I have wind on a lot of people. However, you do sort of need to re-equip the mask on Junah if you end up swapping back to Mask Dancer. I'm doing this just for the stronger wind attack. Okay, well, I got Mortal Strike. I pretty much got this. Though I can also use many a bullet. Oh no, this thing is super dead. This thing is super, super dead. But yeah, the gold elementors are the electric version. Because I didn't have the wind weakness registered, I mustn't have fought them before. That must have been something that I fought on the, you know, in the many ones that didn't take. But yeah, a lot of archetype experience out of that. No new skills though.
We've cleared the way.
Now, I probably should have Merchant at rank 20 by this point, because if I did, I could show off the Elementor extortion trick. But here we get these two chests. So, number one contains a ruby. I actually found my Game Boy Advance copy of Pokemon Ruby a few days ago, but, like, the battery's probably dead. And the Bloodthirsty Vesture restores HP upon defeating an enemy in squad battle. Which I think will go on Junah. Oh, she had the fire boosting rod equipped. That's why her damage was sucking. Oh, wait. And it was because I had that on Hulkenberg. Okay, yeah, I shouldn't have swapped Hulkenberg to Mage first. However, I'm pretty sure if Hulkenberg stays in Mage, though, she's gonna max out Mage from this boss, almost certainly. Do I really need... Like, I could just go Stroll Gunner if I want another Pierce user.
Gunner!
I mean, there's no reason I can't go, because I don't think I actually really need Heisme for this fight. Although, granted, general buffs are always useful. So let's hop down here. I mean, Heisme and Will are hurting in the MP department, and I don't want to use a lot of my MP recoveries before the Dragon Temple. Oh, I only have one Secrets of Secrets. But I have 5 Sweeter Than Poisons and 2 Cursed Love Ballads. Maybe I can get by on just some Fruit Cordials. 2 of them on you and 1 on Will. That doesn't look great in terms of MP. I may actually need to bring Hulkenberg in because she has a lot of MP. Granted, I have Barden. I can just have Heisme start, set up buffs, and then replace him with Hulkenberg for only half a press turn. So, hello there, big combed cockatrice. I've already talked about cockatrices, so really no need to talk about that here. Foul beast is doing the natural order. Yeah, Australians know all about introduced species wreaking havoc on the ecosystem. So, weirdly for this fight, you actually get put on this screen here because Junah is a forced character for this. You can go detail. Okay, details. Are we allowed to? Okay, I don't think we can actually change their equipment. You can do, like, tactics, but that's if you want to have people AI control. But yeah, I'll put in Stroll, and I'll start with Heisme. But then I'll go Hulkenberg.
You think you own this place, huh? You're not raiding this tomb on our watch.
It's Lara Croft, apparently.
They're weak to fire. Let's heat this place up.
But it is also weak to Pierce. And also, you want to have defense buffed, because otherwise it will try and insta-kill you. So, let's go. Formation of Vigor first up. Now, the Spire of Blind Faith, actually, that we'll be seeing later, is a dungeon that directly punishes you if you try and use Formation of Vigor, so that is important to remember. But yeah, 3 shots of that is some pretty nice damage. And we've got Stroll as Gunner, so let's go Poison Shot.
You gotta aim better than that. Don't underestimate me.
Well, that's not great. Okay, let's Infernal. Its agility is pretty high from what I remember, so... Okay, that's good damage. Heisme jumps to the back row, and we need to set this up, because otherwise, it could try and insta-kill. Mudodyne. Fortunately, we have the resistance there. However, Blizzardton is unfortunate. Thankfully, we're not weak to that. So yeah, let's go for, I mean, Will is you know what, let's actually just use his normal attack. Yeah, that's actually enough damage that I kind of don't even need to spend much of Will's MP. We have enough firepower, literal firepower, to be effective here, I feel. So let's, let's, the force of Great Typhoon.
Now accept your
What is the Raging Fire line from the I'll Make a Man Out of You? With all the strength of a Raging Fire? I am embarrassing myself by not remembering lyrics of one of my favorite Disney films. Yeah, Mulan's definitely high up on my Disney tier list, but okay. So, let's go ahead and... Okay, hang on. How are buffs do? I was trying to press the check buffs button. I accidentally... Oh, there we go. It's finally done that. Slight problem, though. Just checking. Okay, all our buffs are about to wear off. But I might even be able to kill this turn. Yeah, so switch teammates. Highs may go out for Hulkenberg.
Run if you want, but you can't escape my aim.
Ah, I love that line so much. Okay. Lava Crystal? I have a lot of those. And then another Infernal Vortex. Its agility must be very high. There's no other explanation for that. I mean, then again, so is... It doesn't have a passive dodge fire, does it? Okay, there's the instant death. And, because she didn't have a Rakukaja, and now we've lost that. I was kind of banking on it dying that turn and me not missing twice with fire attacks. That is insanely unfortunate. Okay. But I have Bombs of Life. Okay. Don't miss Junah, please. Let's not be Koromaru from my Persona Q2 recent run. Okay, there we go. I don't think it's gonna go down this turn, but it will probably go down next turn. So somebody's probably getting Peck of Death. No, normal attack. And Mudo died. That's totally fine, okay. I am just gonna ignore that and just focus on my mages here. Okay, and then Hulkenberg should probably finish this. There we go. Okay, I had some rough patches there, but I guess that's better than a total joke of a fight. Also, Mage only leveled up once out of that.
Not bad at all.
Okay, I'll take more strength.
Even I had more to learn. Even I.
And yes, there's the even I. I don't know why he says, like, even I in exactly the same way in that Age of Empires trailer. Also, Shadow Dwellers increases evasion by 5%. Maybe the boss had that.
Great work, Captain. The Islanders will be happy to hear the news.
And I interrupt this dungeon run to give you fully voiced bonds.
Let's hurry and let them know. Thank you.
Get an imagination boost in that, but that's already one of my highest stats. And also, 1 increase to popularity.
But first, might I ask you a random question? What does strength truly mean to you?
Are you trying to test to make sure if we actually were loyal to Luis all along?
Strength is to show compassion to others, I suppose.
Well, aren't you considerate? I wouldn't have thought.
You wouldn't have thought? His campaign slogan is literally "We help everyone in need."
Well, then you pass. I hereby appoint you to the position of my personal escort. You do know that I have an adoring public all over the continent, yes? I get absolutely swarmed when I go out alone.
Somewhere, Fidelio felt intense pain and he didn't know why.
How honored you must feel. Oh, but I kid. I'm just glad to have you aboard.
This is really just a justification for why her bond ranks exist at all.
After all, we're both putting our lives on the line to achieve the same goal, are we not? So let me put it to you again. If there's something I want to save, are you still willing to risk your life for it? I do appreciate you fighting alongside me, and I was deadly serious about the escort thing. So, let's give it our best.
The ephemeral songstress, Juna. Within her dwells the virtue of the masked dancer. Nurture thy bond with her, and a new power yet slumbering within thee may awaken.
I feel like I can rely on you.
Starting Junah's bond finally unlocks the masked dancer archetype for characters besides her, along with eventually unlocking its upgraded form, the unsubtle Atlas reference. Actually, persona is literally Greek for mask, but the archetype is still a blatant persona reference. You'll see when you get it. Other than that, and the usual unlocking more inheritance slots for Masked Dancer and giving Junah more experience when she's in reserve, the only real benefits Junah's bond gives is giving you a bit of MP recovery after battle, which is good, don't get me wrong, but it's pretty basic compared to other bonds. One great thing about it is that it does take place at night, so it doesn't compete with any other party bond besides Heismay, and it's not hard to have him maxed or near max by now. The only royal virtue lock this one has is needing Imagination rank 4 fairly late in. Nothing much else to say, MP recovery is nice, and being a party bond, you'll want to do this so that Junah keeps up with you in levels.
Oh, that reminds me. I did promise to teach you a Songstress's secrets.
But we already know how to make the secretest of secrets.
Though I hardly think they're all that impressive. All I do is show everyone the me I want to be. It's the audience who sees that and feels what they do about it that makes me a songstress.
This is very interesting because it's almost the exact opposite of like Risei's problem in her social link. Like not saying this is a problem, but I mean like with Risei she had the problem that she was forced to show a manufactured version that wasn't her real self when she was on stage. And that her whole social link was about learning to express her real self and still enjoy her singing career. Junah, meanwhile, is already being her truest self in her career.
It sounds cryptic, I know, but watch close, and you'll see what I mean. Right, my good man? So, for your first duty as my new escort, shall we head back?
Yeah, let's go back to the entrance.
It's funny that such a blatant gameplay line here is fully voiced thanks to this being rank 1 of a bond. But okay, we actually have got to General to 15 though. But I suppose we can also do that on the way to the Dragon Temple next time. So yeah. For once, I am going to return to town, because yeah, if you set up camp, a day will pass, and that lengthens the time to travel to the Spire of Blind Faith if done on the same trip. So yeah, let's go back instead and enjoy a nice dinner, because tomorrow, the real Dungeon Delve begins. The Dungeon Delve of Doom! Oh, and you'll miss this conversation if you don't travel back to town after doing the Orbwise Path. So in a way, this actually works out pretty nicely. I think some people do eat snakes. I know that I almost had a crocodile burger in Cambodia. I still kind of wish that I did. My mother talked me out of doing it because she wasn't sure if it would be healthy. But I kind of like the idea. I've heard that crocodile's actually pretty good. It's definitely the kind of thing Hulkenberg would eat. This is a weird way to end this part, but yeah. I'll see you all next time. We share a brief moment of peace now, for tomorrow we begin the long dungeon of ultimate longness. See you all then.